In this video, we're going to show you how to install an outer tie rod end on your Ford 500 located behind the wheel knuckle. Now if you have a hubcap, go ahead and give that a gentle tug outward, pop that off and set it aside. Using your 19mm socket, loosen and remove the 5 lug nuts. Grab your wheel, pull it off, and set it aside. Using a 21mm wrench, we want to loosen this jam nut. And we did soak this in some rust penetrant. Use a 13mm wrench on the inner tie rod here to hold that. And just loosen that down a couple threads. The outer tie rod end nut here is a 21mm. So you could use your wrench here and let's loosen that. I can see that our ball joint is spinning with it. Use a 3/8 wrench. I'm going to use a stubby one here. Tap this on. Once we have the wrench tapped on there, I'm just going to spin this around until it stops on the knuckle. And let's loosen this nut. So our 3/8 inch wrench kept popping off of the top here. We use a set of locking pliers here to do the same job. We're not damaging any threads. It's just holding the top end of that ball joint. Now the nut's ready to come off. Be careful if you did use heat to loosen that up. Make sure you're wearing some sort of protective glove. Pull it off, set it aside. When removing the outer tie rod, count the revolutions it takes to remove it. Makes it easier when we install our new part. That'll give us a preliminary wheel alignment before we can get down to the shop and have the real alignment done. Now I'm going to take a crayon here and I'm just going to put a small 23. You do not have to do this, however, it makes it a lot easier if you happen to get step away or get called away for any reason. You come back, you'll know that it was 23 turns to put it back on. We're going to install our jam nut. Install your outer tie rod. We're going to thread it on the 23 threads that we used to remove the old one. Once you have that on your 23rd count, you can spin that jam nut down and just kind of snug it up to it. I'm going to give this a couple of bumps. I'm going to go ahead and line this up with our knuckle and slide this into place. Okay, slide this over. Fit that up into the knuckle. And install a nut. Now we're using a 10mm socket on the top of the ball joint, and we're going to use our 21mm wrench. I'm going to go ahead and tighten this down. Now we can use our socket and our torque wrench, and you want to torque this down to 85 foot-pounds. Now you want to tighten down your jam nut. You want this to be nice and tight. Using a pair of pliers, and then grab our outer tie rod. And I'm just going to twist this. I want my outer tie rod here to be level, not twisted, rocking back and forth, but nice and level. Once that's straight, go ahead and install your wheel and bring the vehicle down to your local alignment shop. Go ahead and line up the wheel with the lug nuts. Install all of the lug nuts by hand first, or at least get them started a few threads. Once these are all started, we'll go ahead and snug them down. Using your torque wrench, go ahead and torque the lug nuts down to 95 foot-pounds. Now when installing the hubcap here, you want to go ahead and make sure that the little notch lines up with the valve stem. You're all set.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.